Hi guys, I'm here today to talk to you about verbal routines. So if you saw my post from yesterday, I explained verbal routines as being the same string or sequence of words used the same way, at the same time, with the same activity. So essentially, you are creating this level of predictability in your child where they are anticipating a word with something fun. So this is so play-based. They're not even gonna know they're doing work. And it's really just to pull those words out of them and to elicit that initiation of communication and words. So this is meant to use with little ones who maybe aren't talking yet. Babies, you can start super early with these verbal routines. And older kids as well. You can start building on the amount of words that you give them in the routine and the amount of words that they're expected to fill in. So it can really be used across ages. But I wanted to show you a couple of specific ideas because I think it's way easier for me to show you than for me to just tell you about it. So the first one is ready, set, go. Everybody knows ready, set, go, whether you're doing it with a ball, a swing, a slide, running. Ready, set, go, go, go. And you want to make this fun. So the big thing with verbal routines is you want to be animated. Your intonation wants to go up and you want to have really great body language and be really loud and big so that they're having fun. Again, we're sneaking these words in so that they don't feel like it's work. So once they have that verbal routine down, you've done it with them a million times, you start creating these pauses. So you say ready, set, and you keep your eye contact with them, and you are trying to elicit that go out of there. Now, I have had kids in the past where I'm prompting this, and they will just fill in with a sound, not the actual word. That's okay. They're still communicating with you. They know that they have to give you something, and they are. So I say ready, set, and he says, that's fine. And this child that did that with me, that became O, and it eventually became go. So it's a continuum. It might not be a perfect word yet, and that's okay. So let's do some bubbles. So if you're doing bubbles, they're great because you can do a lot with it. You can use ready, set, go. You can say ready, set, pop when you're popping them and they're flying around and you're like, pop, 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 pop. But the big thing is that animation. So you're saying ready, set, and you're stopping. Your child may even imitate the blowing, and that's awesome. So they may even go, or something with their lips. You're looking, again, just for that initiation of imitation. So if they do that, that's great. You start blowing those bubbles because, again, they're completing that verbal routine. They are participating with you, and that's what you're supporting. You can also do popping the bubbles. So the great thing about a wand is once you blow some bubbles, you can catch them. So you catch the bubble on the wand and you hold it above them so they can't reach. You're creating a temptation for them and you say, ready, set, and you're wanting them to either say pop or go, whatever. The great thing about this is it's also teaching them to isolate their finger for pointing, like we talked about last time I talked to you guys. And that point is a sign for go. So even if they're at the stage of just signing and not producing words yet, that's great. So they're saying ready, set, well, you're saying ready, set, and then they go with their finger, and that's a sign for go, and you do whatever it is that go means for them. But doing this is great too, because you can also elicit that finger, and they, as soon as they do whatever sign or word for that completes that verbal routine, they can just pop it, and it's so fun, and they love it, and bubbles are a hit. Every kid loves them, so you can't go wrong with bubbles. The other thing that I use is cars. So I use cars on a string. I don't know if you guys know what these are. You might have seen my post for it, but essentially these cars are all on a string and I put them on one by one, and I'm also, so I kind of overlap in my goals. So when they're getting each car on, maybe I put their hands together for more. So each time they get a car on, they have to do their more sign, so they're also initiating their wants and needs. But for this verbal routine, I put it on the string, and I like the string because it gives a good visual of that long vroom sound that I'm about to do. But you can use any cars, it doesn't really matter. So you go vroom, beep, beep. And as soon as it stops, you get a really fun beep, beep sound. And it's really fun, and they love it, and it's easy to produce because it's on their lips. And again, eventually you start to integrate the pause. So you go vroom, hold their eye contact, animate your face, look at them, expect something from them. They know what's coming if you've done it over and over and over again, and it's something they recognize. So they know that something's supposed to happen, and you're giving them that temptation of it. They're like, wait, why are you stopping? There's supposed to be a word there. And then, oh, the word pops out from them because they're so excited they can't hold it in any longer. That's essentially what it's supposed to support. And what these verbal routines really aim to do is give them that communication temptation to eventually use their words and use them in a way that they are initiating them, which is so exciting. You can use the Ready, Set, Go with bubbles, balloons, anything. You can also stack. So if you stack blocks and you want to push them over, you can use like 1, 2, 3. So you could say 1, 2, 3, and they love making a mess. So fun. So you can use 1, 2, 3 that way. You can also do Ready, Set, Go. There's no script for these guys. You can do whatever you want, whatever your child really likes and whatever they respond to. So you might have to try a couple things before they respond to something, and that's okay. Another thing is books. So Brown Bear, ultimate favorite. You've probably read it 1,200 times if you have a little one. But try pausing. So you're going to read it really animated. You're going to say, Brown Bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at, and you pause. And you don't do anything yet, and you wait for them to fill in the little word of me. Again, this could be good for an older kiddo too that maybe has more words, so you just read the first part and they have to fill in the whole, I see a red bird looking at me. A lot of kids are at that level and can do that, and that's great. There are so many so many books that have verbal routines in them. Message me if you want some more ideas, but there are so many. Really, it's just any predictable sequence that is repeated over and over again in that book. And that's really easy for that child to memorize. Something else for verbal routines is songs. So you can incorporate it into any song. I don't care if it's Bruno Mars or Itsy Bitsy Spider, whatever your child likes, put it into the song. For the sake of me not singing Bruno Mars, I'm going to do ABC. So you could do A, B, C, D, E, F, and then stop and see if they fill in those letters. You can do that throughout the entire song. Same thing with any songs that have gestures. So the wheels on the bus go, and you stop with your gestures and with your speech. Because then, even if they're just at the gesture stage and they fill it in with those little round and round, they're completing the verbal sequence and they're participating in this communication interaction with you. Again, that's what it comes down to. So this is really exciting, and it's fun to see your kid's mind just turn, and especially when they're attentive to the activity. It has to be something that they're attentive to. I know for little kids, babies especially, their attention does not hold for very long. That's okay, as long as you can get them interested even for a minute and just keep implementing these activities each day until they start to learn them. And then if your child isn't at the space of being able to fill in that word yet, that's okay too. You can still integrate those pauses so that they're used to that expectation of what's coming next. And then just give it to them. I would say as soon as they drop your eye gaze, give the word to them because you want them to continue to be interested in the activity. So less is more in this case. I know that when we're teaching kids words and sentences, a lot of parents want to just give them all these words and say this, but these verbal routines give them a very authentic situation to produce words. We're not expecting them to just keep repeating what we're saying. We're expecting them to fill in something that they know and like and are used to, and it's just a different way to elicit those words. So again, less is more. Let's give them those expectations and pauses and not so much words, and see what they do with it. And again, with the communication, they're really being supported in that way, and it's so fun to do. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Message me if you need any ideas on verbal routines. I promise you can put it into anything. You don't have to have all these things. Your child's favorite toy can be made into a verbal routine. Just let me know. Thanks.